Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the Wolf Diaries. Today, we're diving into a dragon-sized controversy that's heating up the worlds of Westeros, Essos, and beyond. George R.R. Martin, the mastermind behind the source materials for hit shows Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, has just dropped a major bombshell about the upcoming seasons of the hit show. Martin's got some serious concerns about where the show's headed, particularly with seasons 3 and 4. If you're a fan of the show and/or the books, you'll definitely want to stick around for this one. Welcome to the Wolf Diaries. So, let's get into it. Back in July, George teased that he had more to say about the handling of some key moments in House of the Dragon, especially the blood and cheese sequence in Season 2. Now, he's back with a full breakdown, and he's not holding back, criticizing not just the changes made in Season 2, but also dropping some major hints about how these alterations could ripple through future seasons. It's like a Westerosi-sized game of dominoes. In a recent and now deleted blog post, Martin has raised some serious concerns about how House of the Dragon is shaping up for seasons 3 and 4. If you thought the drama in King's Landing was intense, you have not seen anything yet. So, what's got Martin all riled up? It's all about what he calls the butterfly effect. No, not the movie with the spooky time travel and chaos, but the idea that even the tiniest changes in a story can lead to massive upheavals later on. And Martin's worried these changes are spiraling out of control. Martin's blog post, titled "Beware the Butterflies," digs deep into how seemingly minor adjustments in the show's storyline could turn into major issues down the line. He's specifically upset about the show's take on the blood and cheese scene, a key moment in the Targaryen Civil War. So, first off, let's talk about blood and cheese. For those of you who've read Fire and Blood, you know this scene is brutal, dark, and twisted in a way that only George can write. But the show, well, it took some liberties. In the book, Helena is forced to choose which of her sons will lose their life, and when she picks her younger son, Maelor, Blood and Cheese decide to take her older son, Jaehaerys, instead. It's a gut-wrenching moment that shows just how cruel these assassins really are. It's not just about who lives and who doesn't. It's about the emotional and political fallout that follows. But in the show, Martin says they altered this scene significantly, removing crucial elements like young Maelor's fate, which plays a massive role in the unfolding chaos. For starters, they cut out Maelor entirely. The twins, Jaehaerys and Jaehaera, are younger, and Helena's choice is simplified. She's not even given the chance to offer her own life to save her kids. Instead, she offers them a necklace. A necklace! As George puts it, this change weakened the scene, stripping away the Sophie's choice element that made it so visceral in the books. Martin explains that by cutting out Maelor and changing the sequence, the show loses a lot of its emotional weight and logical progression. And George doesn't mince words. He pointed out that in the book, the perpetrators are portrayed as much more sinister. Blood is a former Gold Cloak who was kicked out for viciously harming a woman, definitely not the kind of guy who would settle for anything less than maximum cruelty. By removing Maelor and toning down the offender's ruthlessness, the show, in George's eyes, lost some of the scene's dark magic. This isn't just a nitpick. These changes could have ripple effects, impacting how future events unfold. And Martin is not just worried about this one scene. He hints at even bigger, toxic butterflies on the horizon if the show continues down this path. You might think, okay, so they cut Maelor. Big deal, right?
Wrong.
George draws a parallel to the butterfly effect, a small change that leads to massive consequences. See, in the book, Maelor's death sets off a chain of events that has a huge impact on the story. After his demise, his mother Helena, already haunted by her choice, spirals into despair and eventually takes her own life. This, in turn, sparks riots in King's Landing as the common folk who loved Helena rise up in anger. The ripple effects of this are felt throughout the rest of the story, leading to the storming of the Dragon Pit and ultimately, Rhaenyra's downfall. But without Mailer, without that pivotal moment, and the resulting trauma for Helena, all of these dominoes might not fall the same way. George even hints that we could lose some of the most intense and memorable scenes from the book, like the desperate fight at Bitterbridge where Mailer is ripped to pieces by a mob. It's not just about one character's end, it's about the entire trajectory of the story being altered. Now, don't get me wrong, George still loves the show. He praised the actors, the direction, and the overall storytelling. But it's clear that he's got some reservations about where things are headed, especially as the series moves into seasons 3 and 4. And honestly, as a diehard fan of both the books and the show, I'm with him. These small changes might seem insignificant now, but they could end up altering the entire course of the story in ways we can't yet predict. He's sounding the alarm, warning that these alterations could make the already tangled storylines even more messy. Martin's critiques aren't just about missing details, they're about how these changes could undermine the integrity of the entire narrative. And it's not just about missing elements. Martin's concerned about character development too. He feels the evolving relationship between Rhaenyra and Alicent is being forced into directions that don't align with their intricate, hate-fueled history from the books. So, what does this mean for fans of House of the Dragon? Are these changes a necessary part of adapting such a sprawling, complex story to the screen? Or are we losing too much of the rich, interconnected narrative that makes George's work so powerful? Will the series continue to stray from Martin's vision, or will the showrunners heed his warnings and adjust their course? Only time will tell. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Martin's critique? Are you worried about these toxic butterflies too? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next breakdown of all things House of the Dragon. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your dragons be ever fiery and your plots ever twisting. See you on the next one. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and/or subscribe for more delightful content, and I'll see you on the next one.